We have two new women's champions as Tatum Paxley was able to cull her rage and propel herself to dethroning Jacy Jayne and winning the championship that had eluded her for so long. And also, Zarya was unable to defend her friend Sol Ruka's honor as Blake Mariah Monroe was able to capture the NXT North American Women's Championship. Ricky Saints was able to retain the NXT Championship over the former champion Trick Williams. Ethan Page was able to survive the terror, the spoopiness of Day of the Dead. Then Javon Evans and Leon Slater, once rivals at Bound for Glory, the once prestigious Bound for Glory. Remember when TNA actually used to put on great matches at Bound for Glory, and now they're reduced to basically being a WWE satellite system? Those were the days! And yeah, these two guys put on a hell of a match. Bound for Glory are competing over who doesn't have to touch Mr. Iguana's lizard. That didn't come out right. Speaking of lizards, we see two lizards that are basically like legless lizards, the Broken Hardys, who are so goddamn broken down they can't even beat 4 of Timu's Shield. Also, Booker T was absolutely atrocious. What a trick or fucking treat event this was. I may be a day late, but Shawn Michaels is a creative decision short. I'm Joe Renton with my review, WWE NXT Halloween Havoc 2025. Yeah, I'm a day late. I worked late yesterday. I went and saw If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Rose Byrne deserves every accolade she is getting. And even though I started watching this event last night, we had a windstorm. The power went out for about 5 hours. Credit to the power crews, the utility crews. Anywhere you are at, always make sure to give them love and appreciation. They work through all kinds of elements and everything. But yeah, I decided to watch this because people requested I reviewed this. Thank you, fuckers. Thank you very much for requesting this because I hold all of you responsible for me putting up with pretty much half of a good event. That being said, thank you very much for requesting this. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm propelling myself towards 1 million views. I'm actually a lot closer than I expected. And yeah, they were in Prescott Valley, Arizona. I don't know where the fuck that is. 2,800 fans in a venue that holds around 5,000, I guess. And the talents arrive. We have the Halloween setup. No waffle legging him. He's so good. Back when Halloween Havoc utilized the set pretty well. So Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Leon Slater, I believe, is the current current TNA X Division champion. A lot of X's on this show. Possibly, maybe they were all dating. I mean, the PC is basically just like, the Rocky Mountain Oyster variation of wrestling performance centers or wrestling training grounds. But anyway, Evans and Slater took on La Parka, one of the many La Parkas, and Mr. Iguana. Now, people like Mr. Iguana. I don't have anything against the person. I do not get this gimmick. I do not want to get this gimmick. I think that it is really stupid that they are fighting over an iguana puppet. They are fighting over shampoo. Flippy shit. And I did like the press slamming of the Gutbuster. That was nice. Don't chop the lizard. And then he's whipping them with his lizard. Watch him whip. Watch him lizard. I don't think that works. So a melee in a 450. It almost looked like it was going to be a senton, but no, it was a 450 variation. 1, 2, 3. So, okay, I believe Mr. Iguana got pinned. That was certainly a match that featured a lot of flippy shit. Sol and Zarya, interrupted by Tatum and Izzy Dame. Basically, Sol is injured of some description. I don't know if it's as bad as the first time she got injured when she, I believe, tore her ACL or something. But Zarya is going to defend the NXT Women's North American Championship in her honor. Tatum, meanwhile, is going for the NXT Women's Championship. I don't understand why Sean Spears is leading a group. I don't understand why any of this is happening. Ethan Page, with half of his face painted like Day of the Dead, or he just loves cosplaying as Darby Allin. I know Darby Allin's not the first one that did that. Thunder Rosa actually had been doing that for years. Work with me here. Taking on El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. Whatever. Doesn't matter. He's the son of Dr. Wagner. Day of the Dead match. So basically they just use weapons. Lots of weapons. I didn't mind some of this. Ethan was bleeding at one point. I didn't really like the blue light because it reminded me of Kmart. If anybody remembers Kmart, you have to be really old to remember that. So, we got a chair shot to the ass. We got trash can lids. We got a skeleton arm being used. And we're starting to lose me. At one point, Ethan pretty much tore part of the mask off. And we had Dr. Wagner Dr. Wagner Jr. getting upset. A coast to coast with a trash can. I don't know why. And then he went to the mask. He went to the mask. Oh my God, he can't see. He can't see what's going on. And he go edge onto the trash can for 2. A chair bump where it looked like Ethan just hit the corner of the chair. I don't know why. Suddenly, powder to the eyes. From the cartel. I'm sorry, that's mean. And a twist of fate variation through a table. 1, 2, 3. That was a match. That was certainly something. Kalani Jordan and Jordan. Why was Jordan Grace dressed up like Daphne? Why? I mean, I know it's Halloween, or near Halloween, but why? So they were dressed up and whatever. I guess they're going to face off for the Knockouts Championship that Kalani has because, again, TNA is just a satellite of WWE. Blake Mariah Monroe. I don't know how to feel about the glamour entrance. I don't get it. It's not for me necessarily. If she's happy, great. I'm still a fan of her. I just don't. I don't know. Zarya, my word, that gear. And Soul's out there on crutches, or on a crutch, and it's for the North American Women's Championship. Zarya defending it in Soul's honor. Blake jumpstarts. I noted, my God, Zarya. Good grief. I mean, not that Blake Mariah Monroe, and I know what her name is, but work with me here. How does she look bad? Or nothing wrong with her. But Booker was talking about, at one point, I wouldn't let someone defend my championship. He was U.S. champion and had Randy Orton defend in his honor, or compete in his honor to win the U.S. title. So technically you would, you fucking idiot. Somebody needs to, like a wrestler needs to smack Booker and make him actually talk like a normal person, because good God, he is fucking irritating. I mean, he was really, really bad on this show. That's part of the reason why I can only watch the big events, and sometimes I have to watch them afterwards so I can clip through some boring parts and just mute some of it, because I can't stand Booker. You know, I'm less and less upset that he lost to Triple H in that feud the more I hear him talk like this, because he just continues to ruin his legacy. It's not producing anything to help the show. It's just making the show worse. Blake Mariah Monroe did focus on the arm, did a nice arm bridge. I'm sure somebody knows the bridge that she did, didn't you? You know who you are. So anyway, I run a clean show here. I would never eyeball somebody like that. If you believe that, you have not been paying attention to this review or anything I've done. And good work here. There were Booker T chants. I hope any sports team that Arizona has doesn't win any more championships, if we're going to be doing that. The step spot where Zarya, and I like Zarya, but it just, the way they did it was awkward. She hurled herself stupidly at the steps. Good tactic there. And then Soul slammed her into the post. Oh my God, she's turning on her. No, she's trying to pop her shoulder back in. Like, ow, I guess. And then Zarya, hulked back up, hit a couple Germans, hit a nice spear. And then at one point, oh my God, this is right when, Blake Mariah had gotten the hair clip thing and she was going to stab her in the eye, I guess. But no, she got hit with the spear. And then Blake was going around and conveniently tripped Soul. I will say it was telegraphed, but it wasn't all that bad. Zarya goes to help her, a DDT on the floor, another DDT in the ring, 1, 2, 3, and new. So they have strapped up Blake. They have strapped up the glamour. This is the second most strapped up glamour I have seen on the internet. You don't want to know about the first, and I don't even think I can legally talk about it. But, yeah, there we go. So, new North American Women's Championship, or new North American Women's Champion. Good. Good stuff. Women yell backstage. I think one was Ren Sinclair. I don't know who the others. Lash Legend was there because she's like half a foot taller than most of the women. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. She literally is half a foot taller than the goddamn women there. Hey, at least Nikita Lyons is being featured. How does she keep... By the way, this is something that's bothered me. Wesley, and I'm just... Sidebar here. Wesley got released from his contract, literally breaking his back for the company, or just his contract wasn't renewed, whatever it was, but literally broke his back for the company. And the heel turn wasn't the worst thing in the world, because he could have worked as a heel, but no, they didn't do anything with him, and then just released him. I just don't understand it. There were Other releases that were a little bit disappointing. The one, God damn it. Laurel. I've seen her a little bit on Evolve. She revealed that apparently her and Ilya Dragunov are dating. Or Laurel. Laurel. But I felt bad for her because I thought she had potential as far as her look. But yeah, Wesley is very disappointing because I really think, one, this event could have used him, and two, he really should still be being featured. But he probably should have been called up, but whatever. Hopefully he gets a chance. Maybe AEW, maybe New Japan gives him a shot because that man can go. So, Tatum Paxley out with the culling. Again, why is Shawn Spears leading a group? Izzy Dame, I don't get it necessarily. I don't know. I mean, it's obvious they're going with this jealousy thing. She got Tatum to come into the Culling's ways. Gross. And now it's an idea that she basically was like, oh shit, Tatum's actually getting good. She's going to get the shot against JC, but she won't win, then I'll get the next shot. About that. JC Jane came out with Fallon Henley. Sweet Jesus. Jasmine Nix is another one that got released, by the way, and I didn't really think she was necessarily all that good in the ring, but once she did a video talking about the numerous surgeries she had and the setbacks she had, I had a little more sympathy for her. I feel bad. Kendall Gray, she's got the look for it. I'll say that much. I don't know what her athletic background is. But Fallon looks incredible. JC, and I like JC. I've been a fan of JC since they did the Toxic Attraction thing. And I think that she really does have one, she has a good look. Two, she has improved in the ring. Makes most of her television time. I was happy to see her win the championship. And I noted what the fuck is Mike Rowe wearing, and then somebody pointed out that it was Art the Clown, and I just didn't recognize that without the blood splatter, or Lauren Lavera, clearly not distracting me when I'm watching a Terrifier movie. By the way, the only good Terrifier movie, the only really good Terrifier movie is 3, the first one's fine, the second one, punishing length. That's what she said. Let's go Tatum chants. In fact, I think this crowd probably would have left in drooves if Tatum hadn't won. Tatum, she did some good stuff here. Look, she has improved. JC has absolutely been, I think, stellar as a champion. I'm not saying JC is a ring general. I'm not saying JC is a 5-star classic after classic after classic. I'm not saying she's the best technical wrestler. She's one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. But I'm saying she's making the most of what she's given. Makes the most as far as creating a persona where you have to watch her. And I think her work is pretty good. So anyway, there's interference. The referee basically ends up kicking them all out. And we get a flash knee for 2. We get a roaring elbow from Tatum. And a 450. 1-2 kick out. They had him on that 450. Now, I know why they did the finish that they did, but they had him on that 450. Also, and that, I'm just saying as a fan, it was telegraphed. Well, JC opens the eyes. Oh, you opened the eyes, so now you're obviously going to kick out. But we get an apron bump. We get back and forth. And then Izzy shows up. The calling, or the other members, I don't know who the fuck the other guy is. I know Shawn Spears is the leader of the group. I don't know who the fuck that other guy is, and I don't care. Nothing against him. But Fallon and Kendall jump on their backs. Trying to find a woman to treat me like that. And suddenly Izzy gets in the ring. She has the title, and she's clearly going to hit Tatum. But Tatum manages to duck. JC clocks her. And either that was what they were trying to do, or it was a really badly timed spot. But suddenly, Cemetery Drive, that Tatum used to do, I believe along with Priscilla Kelly, who was Gigi Dolan, but now is doing good work on the indies, again, and I wish her nothing but the best. 1, 2, 3. New champion. Cool. Izzy doesn't look very happy, so obviously that's going to be the next program. Call JC up. Just call JC up, or have something, give her something to do at least until around Rumble time, and then call her up. That's all I got to say. All right. So, Ava had devil horns and a black dress on, and I don't know what she was saying to Miles Bourne and Tavian Heights, but they got him there. They're going to have a match. I still remember what somebody said about Miles Bourne and Stephanie Vaquer talking, and Stephanie checking to see if Miles is okay, and you're all are terrible people for making me fucking laugh. Good on them, though. I wish them nothing better. God damn it. And I hope these jokes fall on deaf ears. Sorry. Anyway, Timu Shield, okay, these guys suck. I don't care if they're good wrestlers. This gimmick sucks. This is bad. Dark State is really bad. But the Broken Hardy stuff where they come out the delete thing, that was cool for a few weeks. It was bad by Bound for Glory 2016. Which was 9 fucking years ago. And it was bad in WWE. It was bad in AEW. Matt Hardy has not been able to move properly for a while. And yes, that's the bumps, the pain, the blues, the agony, the various addictions he's battled through and gotten clean from. I'm not here to knock. But there comes a time where it is time for you to wrap up your in-ring career. And then there's Jeff Hardy. The perpetual screw-up that he is. A guy that really, quite frankly, should have been one of the biggest stars and will always be one of the biggest what-ifs. Yes, they still get a big reaction. So does an outbreak of cholera, which I think would actually be less painful to deal with than this fucking match. It was a broken rules match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This is one of the worst things I have seen all year. At least in WWE, or WWE adjacent. I did see the Hardys versus the Dudleys at Bound for Glory, and good goddamn Christ, Devon couldn't take a bump because he had back surgery of some variety. And just watching those two teams try to do stuff was terrible. Dark State, I don't care if they're good athletes. They are not ready for this, and this is never going to be. It's all 4 against the 2, and just, you can try to make something happen, but it's not going to happen eventually. And Dark State is just very, very bad. There's ladders all around the ring. There's Slim Jim painted tables that form a face like what Jeff Hardy had. And speaking of Jeff's face, nice tribute with the Bray Wyatt paint job. I will give him that much credit. But god damn, the state of the tag division, the state of this, the Hardys were fucking washed like 8 years ago. They're definitely washed now. And one of the best tag teams of their generation. For a few years in the Attitude Era, and even when they reunited in like late 06, early 07, or into 07, they did some good stuff. Don't get me wrong, the Hardys are a really good team. At least they were. And I know, I don't blame them if they're getting shit pots full of money, especially, you know, TNA's paying them a good amount of money, and Matt's got like 8 million kids, and Jeff probably has court cases that are still going on because he got pulled over again a couple of years ago, or 3.5 years ago, when him and Matt were going to win the AEW tag titles. But no, Jeff couldn't just, I know I shouldn't harp on it, but god damn it, eventually you got to take some fucking responsibility. Jeff hits a swanton, sort of, and Matt hits a leg drop through tables, and then the guys just interfere again, whoever they are. I mean, I know that one is a Dion Lennox, I believe, is the short hair, the one that's kind of in shape. I don't know who the long-haired goof is. I don't know who the other guys are, but these guys suck. They really, really suck. So we have chairs and trash cans and kendo sticks and a barricade bump. Wow, that never happens. Everyone is washed, especially Matt and Jeff. Jeff barely hits the swanton. I mean, barely. I mean, he practically gives himself a backdrop because he can't rotate anymore. And I'm not even here to pick on him for that, but when you can't do something anymore, stop fucking doing it. And then there was a doomsday device through a couple tables. Jeff, by the way, did also do a swanton through a couple tables before this and landed flush and broke himself. And then, the doomsday device through tables. God, that was terrible. Never do that again. Javon and Slater are going to go after the tag titles. And Ricky Saints and Trick Williams had a match where basically Trick was healing it up. Ricky eventually hit a DDT and won, and we had Tatum celebrating with the calling while Izzy looked like she either wanted to fight or fuck her. I don't necessarily know. That's it. I didn't really have much to say about Ricky and Trick, but after the frickin' Broken Rules match, I was done. Next week is Saturday night's main event. I got to close that night. I may review it either late that night, early Sunday. I don't know. If you guys haven't noticed, there's been less wrestling content here, and you're probably going to get even less in 2026. You're going to get retro content. You'll get certain things going on, but God damn it. It's getting frustrating because there are some good things. I like some of the stuff that happened on the show, but good grief. Good grief, as Charlie Brown once said. So agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rentland. Until we watch NXT again, which is probably going to be Deadline, happy trails to you.